Hi guys! Today I would like to introduce you to a concept that may be both familiar and foreign to you. Sats. Sats is the smallest unit of Bitcoin. 100 million sats equals just 1 Bitcoin. There are also other units of Bitcoins such as bitcents, millibits, microbits, and bits. I'll demonstrate their conversion ratios in the following chart. As far back as 2013, many in the crypto community began to ask for adjustments to the common units of Bitcoin, since using 1 BTC as a unit presented many problems and was inconvenient to use as the price of Bitcoin continued to rise. Firstly, there's a concern that the overly large Bitcoin units create a cognitive bias amongst people, which in turn greatly reduces their desire to buy BTC, and it's detrimental to attracting new users. For instance, if we take the current price of Bitcoin and Dogecoin as examples, an amount of $100 can buy 435 Dogecoins, whereas the same amount can buy only 0.003 Bitcoin. In this case, people are more likely to buy the former because it looks cheaper and enables them to buy a lot more. Moreover, based on trading habits developed over a long period of time, as well as mathematical abilities, the average person is more used to and better able to understand using whole numbers as opposed to decimals and fractions. Especially when there are more than 3 decimal points, it can be difficult for people to easily calculate values. For instance, how many 0.00005s makes 1? Can you quickly calculate the answer? There is another reason. Bitcoin has always been known as digital gold, but even gold has different units to be used in different settings. For example, at the National Reserve level, it is usually measured in tons. But in everyday use scenarios, a gold bar may be 1 kilogram or a necklace may be just a few grams. In contrast, Bitcoin has only one common unit, the BTC. Meanwhile, with the recognition of Bitcoin as legal tender in El Salvador, we believe that the demand for payable BTC in countries around the world will gradually increase. By adjusting the units of BTC, the demand for daily transactions will be more easily fulfilled, because more often than not, we only need $10 or $5 or even less for daily transactions and payments. And if it's still measured as being at least 4 decimal places of the usual Bitcoin unit, it can be imagined how inconvenient that would be. With so many problems, why not implement a Bitcoin unit adjustment? This is actually a more daunting task than one may think, as it will require the cooperation of the entire ecosystem. It will also likely be unpopular with existing coin holders and probably not supported by miners. So, some teams have started looking at meeting the market demand for smaller units of Bitcoin by revolutioning Tokenized Bitcoin. Sats, launched by the decentralized cross-chain hosting system Decus, is thus the next generation of Tokenized Bitcoin. Unlike the familiar WBTC and RenBTC, Sats is pegged to 1 Satoshi, not 1 BTC. According to information released, Sats will be first deployed on the Ethereum network, and then gradually expand to public chains such as BSC, Eco, and Polygon. As a new generation of tokenized Bitcoins, Sats has 3 advantages. First one is that it is completely decentralized, and you can redeem native Bitcoins hosted in the system at any time at a pro rata basis. The second is that through an original algorithm, the rate of staking of escrow nodes has been reduced, thus increasing the overall capital utilization of the system. But what does that mean? In the same way that a node in a RenBTC system needs to stake at least $300 in assets to host $100 worth of Bitcoin from a user, and a verifier in a TBTC system needs to stake at least $150 in assets, in the Sats system, a node only needs to stake $20 to $50 in assets. Because Sats does not need to over-collateralize, it can also ensure that nodes do not do malicious work and finish their hosting work reliably. The final point is that the node stake is in Bitcoin, which has no volatility related to native Bitcoin assets and no liquidation risk. So, are you looking forward to such a secure, efficient, and more usable next generation of tokenized Bitcoin?